Hey, Good News family, welcome to Now What, the podcast where we pull up a chair, talk through Sunday's message, and ask the question we're all thinking, now what? What do we do with what we just heard? And how do we actually live it out this week? So grab your coffee, your energy drink, whatever will keep you engaged, and let's figure it out together. Hey, Good News family. It is 2026.
2026.
Can you believe it? Happy New Year, everybody.
I can't believe it.
I'm here with my favorite co-host, Sarah. And PJ, who preached on Sunday. He's my favorite PJ. But don't tell the Nick Yemmas because they have a PJ.
Oh, that's right.
We love that one too.
You know, back when I turned 40, the young adults, yeah, it is. Young adults, one of the young adults wrote a little book and illustrated it called PJ's.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it was
I'm
funny.
thinking Skylar Hogan, but
No.
he might have been, when you were 40, he was probably like,
12.
yeah, I don't know how old he is now, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's sweet. Did
It
you
was.
keep it?
I do, somewhere. Yeah.
I bet
find
it's
that.
in your
That's
office.
cute.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, we have a little bit of a new look today.
Yeah.
First of all, we didn't even plan to color coordinate, so look at us.
It's like, you know, when they say people get older, like a married couple, they start to look like each other. We're obviously not married, but we spend a lot of time together, so we just
So we
start.
just thought it this morning.
I got to be honest, I just looked for a shirt that
A plaid flannel that's
didn't need ironing. And it probably still did, but this was closest.
Yeah.
looks good.
The brown kind of makes me think of the time of year.
A drab.
It's January. Although the weather is decent.
Amazing.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
actually.
I'm still like, it's January.
I mean, I just got back from the island, but you know, it's decent weather. I was celebrating Pastor Raphael and his family. I don't even know what city in
I thought,
DR
yeah.
he lives in, but I celebrated their ocean. Their ocean
You
is
celebrated
lovely.
for them.
Yes.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you. I love that for you.
Celebrating and thanking God for your ocean.
The weather here while you were gone,
You got snow one time. I know that.
we?
Yeah.
it all runs together. It was the week of like Christmas and New Year's. So everyone's like, I don't know what day it is. Do I still have a job? Do my kids go to school?
Yeah.
What haven't I eaten?
Yeah.
You know, what other holiday parties do I have going?
When are we going to be forced to stop eating sugar? Because I can't seem to stop eating sugar. Yes.
Which is
As of
why
yesterday.
Yes.
the fast comes at a great time.
The fast is great. It's really a goal for the church to just clean us all up a little bit, and we need more room in the pews. So y'all need to start fasting for just three little weeks.
Yeah.
How's it going? Everybody doing good on their fast? We're on day 2. We're on the morning of day 2.
I actually, this year I got prepared and I cooked 3 different soups and froze them. And so now we thaw one out every night.
Good for
And,
you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I-
It's impressive. That's my goal. We'll see.
Not there yet.
We'll see. If you also notice, we got some new merch. Look at this. We have our own cups that say "Now What" on them.
Big.
They are, and the only problem was this: they didn't put the branding on both sides.
It's okay.
Dirty dogs. So, anyways, check out the cups. They're at the merch. What is it? Merch wall.
Yep.
On Sundays, and we've got some committed devotionals because that's the 3-week prayer intensive that we're in right now. And actually, what I really love about this is we didn't put dates in here. It's like it doesn't say January 5th, whatever. So. My hope is to see, like, as new people come to the church, we can get these into their hands so that they can join with us at any day. Day one for them is day one for them, and get a heartbeat of where we're at, especially here in 2026, and just feel like they kind of are joining into our family with us. So make sure you get these for yourself, and that it's not too late, and you can also do it online. But also, think about people that you might bring to church throughout this year and get them one of these devotionals so that they can.
It's $5.
Yeah, it's $5. Yeah. Yep. I'm loving the lighting. Do you guys love it? I love the lights back there. And our new table. So we've complained to you guys so often about the tables, and the chairs are super uncomfortable, and the pastors are like, shoving pillows behind their
the
back.
old chairs had like half of a back.
Yes.
So you would like, even if you're in a heated conversation and you like respond or whatever, you're like, whoa. So these have a little bit more stability.
So we're trying it. So we'll see how it goes. But
I like them. So far, so good.
so far, we're only like 5
I like
minutes.
the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks good. Do you guys celebrate New Year's Eve? What'd you do?
Oh, I actually wasn't feeling well on New Year's Eve. I don't know if it was allergies or a cold.
Okay.
I had a lot of drainage and my eyes felt like they were on fire.
Okay.
So I thought maybe allergies or a cold. So
You were in bed by 9.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. You guys?
We So we participated in the prayer here, and then we spent 3 hours trying to tell one of the dogs to shut up because it barked every time fireworks. And one of them went, "What's that?" Every time. So we calmed one and told one to shut up.
Every time. Every time.
Okay, the pet stores now have these like calming chews that you can give
I
dogs.
took them. I
It's
just
like
took them for me
lavender.
that way. I could calm down from the dogs.
Yeah, you just need to give them to them so they kind of, relax or get some anxiety medicine from the vet and just give them a little one. They're just so drowsy.
I did watch a lot of football on New Year's Day, though.
Okay.
So that was, again, it was very relaxing.
Again,
You
I built
were.
a sandcastle and snorkeled. I'm so sorry.
Jealous.
But listen, God's world is so beautiful, and Nebraska just doesn't quite show us enough of it.
Nebraska's
So I
beautiful
have
in the
to-
fall with the leaves.
I love Nebraska.
For 2.2 seconds
too.
before a windstorm comes through and blows all the leaves off the
I feel
trees.
like January and February ruins the rest of the year, but then, the rest of the year kind of redeems January and February.
So I can still remember. I know we eventually have to talk about
Yeah.
other things, but
This is the new 2026 version of the podcast where we're like, guys, you don't have to be so formal. Relax. Kick your feet up on the table. Chat.
this is not an exaggeration. Either the second or third year we were here, we came from Florida in January, freezing. But the second or third year we were here, February did not get above 5 degrees.
Oh, yeah. I apologize.
I thought I had made
That
a
hurt your soul.
life-altering decision.
Yes. And Carissa threatened to leave you.
No, she's hunkered down. But I'm the one having to warm up the car.
Yeah.
And deal with the
outside.
snow. And I just hated it. Oh my gosh. I love it
Chivalry
now.
almost died in the Carter home that year.
I,
He's like, I'm not
The
warming up
more
the
I
car.
learn about your story, the situation surrounding your move here, you really stuck it out. You've stuck it. Way to go. Way to persevere because, first of all, Florida to Nebraska would be a no-go for me. I'd be like, especially if I was raised in the South and it was not, this cold or ever, I'd been like, yeah, I don't think God's calling us there. I really don't.
Well, you're called to sweat in Florida all the time.
I would rather be hot than cold, except for when I'm sleeping.
But I can remember, listen, I can remember where we were, it being 98, because I worked in a factory at that time, right? It'd be 98 and over 90% humidity.
Yeah, that's hot.
And
That's
so you would just go to work and all of that just
just drenched.
soaking
Yeah.
wet. Yeah.
Well,
Did you wear like a little thing to hold your sweat out of your
sweatband.
Sweatband, yeah. It was a sweatband, yeah. Ready.
Can you picture him? He's got the
can't
tube socks
actually.
up to his
Short.
The Richard Simmons tank top. And
Yes.
listen, you just got to do what you got to do.
Because Alabama, if Nebraska's like, we're like 10 years behind fashion wise, Alabama's got to be way worse than that. So he very well. he could have
I've
been
never
wearing
thought of
Richard
Alabama
Simmons.
as like a fashion forward kind of
Not
place.
really.
But I mean,
But it's next to Atlanta.
that's true.
It's probably ahead of us, and we just
It's
don't
kind
even
of
know it.
like, how Nebraska people are like, oh, do you live on a farm? I've never, no disrespect, I've never really thought about what it's like to live in Alabama. Like, I'm sure they have cities and roads.
Okay, but
not
you used
just-
to live in
Sometimes,
Kentucky.
yeah.
Oh,
And
gosh,
remember
I did. It
everything
was
we thought
terrible.
about
All the
you living in
stereotypes about
Kentucky.
people living in Kentucky are true.
the main one
That's
that
why
I
they're
recall.
stereotypes. They
No one has their teeth.
nobody has dental hygiene there. Like
That's
I
why
don't
it's
know.
called a toothbrush. It was originated from, for one tooth.
Listen to all the people who are connected to Kentucky. I'm sorry, but it's true. No one, everyone there. I was like, where are your teeth? And I don't have great teeth, but like, I was shocked. I was like, do they not fluoride your water here? Or like, do y'all not have dentists? I don't know. The stereotype in that situation was true. All had funky teeth.
I have two words in my head right now of like how to make a segue.
Okay.
So PJ started the message talking about his limitations. Thank the Lord, he knows how to brush his teeth. That is not a limitation. And then we're also talking about being committed in 20. And maybe we need to speak to anyone connected to Kentucky to contact your
commit.
family and friends in Kentucky to
If you're a
commit
dentist,
to your teeth.
maybe the Lord wants you to. That's like your mission field,
Right.
I don't know.
One of the billboards we saw, both go in both directions from the airport in the DR, it had a dentist up there, and he said like he was the pioneer of teeth implants, the pioneer of teeth implants in Dominican Republic.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I'm so proud of you. I'm also a little cautious about if I want you to be
Sketchy,
putting in some
yeah.
teeth for me because you're the pioneer. Is anybody looking over your shoulder to make
Like,
sure
you know how the people will go to Mexico for healthcare because sometimes it's cheaper, but sometimes they botch it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, is the risk worth the reward?
Right.
I don't know. I will not be going to the DR to get teeth implant.
No.
But if you go, I'll be your supervisor.
Okay, you can be my personal attendant and check on my teeth implants. It's okay. All right, we're totally lost. Committed 2026. That's our word. I'm really digging this word. Though I'm not exactly sure every year when God gives me my own word or us as a church of like, where exactly is that going to take us?
Right.
What exactly is that going to look like? And so we can say, yes, we're going to be committed until we might hit a point where like, but that's too much, that's too far. So we're focusing on committing during this prayer intensive, especially to faith, to following what God says and where he wants to lead us, and then to fight. And again, fight offensive, defensive, fight,
let's wait.
Yourself.
Let's wait.
I'm excited for it.
It is about standing though.
Yes.
And to fight for what is right, what the Lord says, but we don't have to get into it today. But
Yeah.
I do want to talk about staying committed, especially when it comes to committing to faith, because, as we enter into 2026, it's not just 1 week. I'm praying that it's the whole year and that people are making a conscious decision to stay consistent in reading the Bible, in praying, in staying in community, in attending and participating in church, because that's where your growth happens. And I'm hoping that people will take steps closer. More life groups start, more serving happens, more practicing being a follower of Jesus in different ways so that people grow. Because it's one thing to watch, or it's one thing to attend. It's another thing to participate.
I agree. I think that's that thought I had just went running right out the door. Oh man, we've been talking lately, and I can't remember how much has been like here or has been in just meetings we've been in or whatever, but talking about our heartbeat is to make space, create opportunities for people to grow and learn their faith so that they actually can live it out. And but we've been saying a lot lately, but I can't make you do anything. And I have to reflect on my own life. Even you said something yesterday or Sunday, and you said everything we do is to help you deepen your walk with Christ. And I took a note of that, and I said, while I'm still trying to deepen my own walk with Christ. And I think sometimes we just forget that. And I've now been on both sides, especially when I've been in the same church for 33 years or something. It's like when I'm attending church, I'm sitting back and like, I'm assessing and evaluating where the pastors and the staff and the directors, where they are, where even my life group leaders are, and where they're at in their spiritual journey compared to where I am. I'm like ranking. Well, then based on what I see, gives you more permission to speak or whatever. But at the same time, we have to evaluate where people are if they're speaking into our lives. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, but but at the same time, we can't put unfair expectations on people because we're all still growing in that process. And then being on the other side of now I'm on staff here, I don't want people to think that I have it all together because I don't have it all together.
You don't. You really don't.
Don't we know?
I really, really don't. And it's I don't know. I don't know where I want to go.
Well, I felt like Sunday's message was, first of all, it was like what we might call family business. It was a message designed for the Good News family. And I really appreciated it because my takeaway, I felt like you humanized yourself. Sometimes people have the tendency to put pastoral staff or leaders up on a pedestal and think, oh, they've got it all together. We don't. Like, and so I appreciated that now, like, we know you. And we know you're not perfect, but we love you anyways. And so for the Good News family to be like, oh, he realizes that he has limitations and he's not going to meet all of our expectations. And it was a very honest message about where we're at. And then when you mentioned that the staff, loves as well. We have so many incredible people on our team that truly just love people and want them to know the gospel and want them to be transformed by Jesus. And so our commitment to the Good News family is that we will love you, we will encourage you, we will walk beside you, but we're not going to change you. That you mentioned that Sunday, that is the Holy Spirit's job. It's not our job. We will be here when you trip. We will pick you up. We will, encourage you, speak truth, but we can't change you. So I thought it was a lovely way to kick off the new year.
And, I think, now 30 years in with Jesus, and I think back to that young guy who got saved, but also all the process of learning how to be consistent. And I was just, I think I would sprint in my Christian walk, and then I would drift, and I would sprint, and I would drift, and trying to make up for, or just not knowing how to be consistent, because consistency is really boring. It really is. Showing up every week, or showing up for your family every day. And so I really want people to walk away going, I'm not sprinting this year. I want to be faithful as much as I can every single day. I want to know what I'm trying to accomplish. I want to know how I want to grow. I just want to be consistent. And, I was thinking about it there. What did you say? Oh my gosh, I lost it too. I think there's a false equivalency in our Christian walk with I am going to church, I'm listening to a message, I am listening to worship music, but you're not participating. And the way people grow is that you are actively putting yourself out there, whether it be service, whether it be I'm going to pray for somebody today, I'm going to share something today, I'm going to practice a principle of Jesus today, and I'm going to do it. That's where you grow.
That is the thought I had earlier too, of I know bits and pieces of all of our stories and how we've grown in our walk with Christ, and it has been through serving. And we've made the sound of, some people will say, oh, of course the church, they just want you to come in and serve, give your time, be another body that serves and helps. No, that's not the heartbeat behind here. And again, the family meeting reality of Sunday's message. And I hope that people are getting to know you and your heart enough after all these years to know that that is not the goal. Because every single one of us, the more we started to serve, Pastor Raphael's another example. He talks about his journey, because Nate and I started in youth ministry, and we were in kids ministry. Raphael and Victoria were in kids ministry. We had lots of years together taking care of babies and 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. And you're like, how does that grow your faith? And I don't know exactly how it all does. Do you have an idea?
Well, no, I don't want to interrupt, but I think that if I'm thinking about it, almost everyone on our team started out in a volunteer capacity at some form. And if it wasn't here, it was somewhere else that they started out. So even serving and being a part often leads to maybe you realize that's God's ask of you, is okay, I want you to do this. Or it's you're able to practice. It's not easy to work with 2-year-olds. Carissa got headbutted last year, it's and she, instead of reacting, she can respond. And, so it's those real life opportunities to put what the Lord teaches into practice. And I also think there's so many things, when you talked about, your whole life as an athlete, it was sprints. So that, to me, talked about how personality plays into your walk with the Lord.
I agree with that.
And I thought it was so interesting because I didn't quite do the sprinting that you did, but it made sense to me because for volleyball, we would do sprints. And for tennis, we would do sprints. And I was like, that's why I would be all in. And then I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'll catch you guys next time or whatever. And so people be encouraged that your personality does play into your walk and your transformation journey.
And it is developing new muscles is what it is, or new habits or new systems that support the things that you want to do. And I think part of, so we'll talk about it this week to follow. I can remember, we were out of ministry, really disappointed, maybe a little disillusioned, and going through some real difficult times with Bree and some other things. And I was working at Walmart distribution, second busiest distribution plant in America and just pumping freight all the time. So I remember working in the back of a truck 12 hours a day. And, but I worked overnight. So it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 12 hours. But on Saturday night, I would get off work in the morning. I'd go home, I'd shower, I'd go teach a new believers class. And then I would go and sleep for a couple of hours and go back to work. And I was a terrible teacher. I'm serious. I didn't know what I was doing.
Terrible.
Could not. Just really bad. But I was devoted. You know, there was, and my father-in-law was the pastor, and he let me. I was terrible. When I mean terrible, like I had not learned how to lead yet. So what happens, and this is, I think, my pet peeve. We've talked about it. I'm not a leader. Well, you're an influencer. You have something to offer. I don't want people to get tripped up on the title, but if you disqualify yourself because you think you're not, you won't do certain things that the kingdom needs and people need. So you've got to do something. We'll give you a different, okay, you're not a leader, but we need you to step in and do something and not lead this person, but help this person.
We've talked about it before, even with serving in the church or volunteering in the church. We've talked about the language and the definitions that our culture has given to these different words that now we don't know what's the right word to use to communicate authentically and accurately to the church family of just get in, just jump in.
We'll call you investors.
Something, because like you said, God has a story that he wants to tell through your journey. And if it starts with you in the 2-year-old classroom, and the reason I'm saying that is because that's kind of a significant place where we started, or in youth ministry. Nate wasn't raised reading the Bible a lot. He didn't know a lot of Bible, but he learned a lot helping in kids ministry. And then being able to go home and you're, talking through the sheet that we just taught. I taught the lesson. He corralled the rowdy ones, but he's listening and asking questions with the kids, and he's learning that stuff. And that's how we do it. And it was like you started to build community. I didn't feel like I was going and punching a clock and working for free. I felt like this is my church family. These people care about all of us coming to church and getting an opportunity to grow in our faith and grow in community. So we're all working together. I'm going to watch the kids this week. You're going to watch the kids next week so I can be in service. And that's how you did it. Greeting here, making people feel welcome. I didn't intend for this podcast to be today all about serving, but it's about getting on the team and becoming a part. I was seeing when you guys committing. It's committing. It's just committing to being involved. I remember when I first started here, I was 20 years old, 21. I was a mom, and I started in the choir, and the pastor at the time, I was a house cleaner. I had a house cleaning business. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I was racing to get my daughter from daycare and get to choir practice on time. And so I came straight from work, and I would.
You were in the choir?
I was in the choir. Thank you very much.
In the back.
Right under the mic, right there.
Does Carissa know this? We're good. And the next solo for Easter Sunday morning will be...
The choir is a very forgiving space to be when you sing. You can sing, but anywho, focus on the point of the story.
You picked up your daughter.
I picked up my daughter.
Choir practice.
Get to choir practice, and I would wear jean shorts and a t-shirt to clean houses. And the reason you do jean shorts has all these pockets. You could stick rags in there, and you could, have your. I had my ostrich.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Everything made sense, but I got pulled aside during choir rehearsal from the pastor, who happened to be the choir director's husband. And he said that this was an inappropriate way to show up to choir practice. And I don't know if he saw on my face or if he was already prepared that I wasn't going to take it well. So he was giving me a nudge in the right direction of, you learn a lot about a person's potential as a leader by the way they respond to discipline. Okay, won't do it again. I was going to have my rebuttal, but pastor.
But see, that's love.
And that was love.
That's love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, you didn't get offended. It probably hurt your feelings.
It hurt my feelings. It embarrassed me.
You didn't have the motive of like, oh, I want to show up in my little shorts and show off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I literally just came from cleaning houses. Your motive wasn't wrong.
Right.
It was just an oversight, but you still responded the right way.
Well, but for the grace of God
But
in
for the
that
grace of
moment,
God,
because
yeah.
Nate's like, really? You kept your mouth shut?
But to me,
new.
that's the forging of leadership. And I can remember working, I was at Bible school and had met Carissa, and John Maxwell had written his first book on leadership. And he gave the book to Carissa to give to me. And I said, what am I going to do with this? I don't know anything about leadership. Not knowing that 30 years later, leading an organization. And I think sometimes we want people in the game because opportunities create things. You grow, you learn, you figure out that you're much more talented, skilled, knowledgeable, and adept at certain things than you think, and that you can make an impact. You can't make a difference sitting on the sidelines. And you kind of waste some of your life. Your
You
potential.
waste actually some of God's life.
Right. And what God can do through you, and then also that you can grow. So I know we beat this drum a little bit, but I got to be honest, the challenge this year is going to be we need people to get involved.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to jump in back to what you said that Nate 30 years ago helped out in the 2-year-old, but Nate has stayed consistent, and look at where he's at now. He's worked in kids, he's worked in youth, he's worked in security, he's worked on the board. Like, it just because you start in 2s, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love 2-year-old.
Some people
There's
come alive, and that's their forever place.
100%.
Yeah, and they're raising generations of 2-year-olds.
And those 2-year-olds remember. Like, I know David and Angela taught all of my children in rainbows.
Yes.
We still have the little ornament that they make every Christmas with the little peanut baby Jesus.
Yes,
and that is so precious to me. And my kids still remember that. Eli's 15 and he still knows Miss Angela from Rainbow. You know what I mean? So like, you're making an impact wherever you are. But when you stay consistent and you don't quit and you don't, give up, you grow. It's just like going to the gym. Everybody wants to go to the gym the beginning of January, but how many of them are still there at the beginning of February?
I'm going in February.
Come on, man.
I am. No, I'm working out at home. I seriously am. So I am trying to get into shape, but I don't want to go.
I will say I
have to
went
wait.
January 2nd and I believe the kids would say low-key annoyed because I am a consistent gym attender, and I was like, oh, they're all here now. Like, I was like, just give it a couple weeks.
No, just go.
Fine.
You know you're going to
was
quit.
like-
Go ahead and quit.
I literally
It's not helping
these
you.
people-
You know it's not helping you.
I have a split personality sometimes because I'm like, wow, look at you. Good for you. You're here. You're working hard. You're learning. I see the trainer trying to teach you. But then the other part of me is like, but I need that machine, so I need you to get out of the way. Like there are these teenage girls on the dumbbells, and I was like, they were probably 16. I was like, I'm glad that you're trying to learn, principles of health, but I need those, so come back later. Anyways, it's just the same thing. Consistency is what, brings results.
Sure.
And that's true in our spiritual life as well.
Okay, I wanted to give you a moment. You've talked a couple weeks now. You've mentioned Pastor Walt's acronym. What is the
Turtle on a fence post.
metaphor or whatever of a turtle on a fence post? Will you explain to people who might not get what that means
All right.
practically, and then what it means for in this situation?
So, I always hated it because even within Christian circles, you have people that they just go, I'm so weak, I can't do anything. The Lord does everything. And so there's this battle between, because you've been invited into a space where you're responsible for leading. Church doesn't go, God's not doing anything, you're not doing anything. You're not making the changes. You're not doing these things. So you have this responsibility that you carry, but you also know you're limited in the things that you can do. I look back in the history of our church, and there's certain things that we can't do now because of our personnel. There's younger people in certain places, or we don't have the support systems to sustain certain things that we used to. Prayer being one of those 3 times a day. Pastor Chris was on staff. She had a bunch of people serving under her. And even then it began to thin out. But, people go, well, we don't believe in prayer. Well, that's not true. We just don't have the man and woman power to sustain it, have people show up every week. And then people aren't responding in our culture the same way they used to. So, but there's a lot of other things. There's, our culture has shifted so drastically in 10 years. that the way we have to reach people is different. The way we have to think of life groups and even getting people connected because everybody's busy.
And I want to point out, that's not our good news culture that has changed.
That is
it is Big
across the
C
board.
church across the board. I think that's a lot of times too. A lot of the tension is we will get feedback from people about how things are different at Good News Church. And they, it's like Nate is in the world of accounting, so he knows tax law he knows all the tax law, he knows all the changes, things that you and I would never think about in a million years. It's his job to know that. It's our job to know what's happening in the Big C church culture. So we are studying and seeing and reading the research and all the things of what's happening across the board, while the average church attender only really knows their church experience.
Well, and the average church attender only attends, what, is it every 3 weeks?
It's
like once every third week they attend church.
Yes. Which again, the average church attender doesn't know that stat, except for that probably themselves when they start to look at their calendar.
They're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that is us.
So think about that. So, there's the story of a pastor was talking to somebody and he said, there was a time where, because he was frustrated with church where it was now. And he said, there was a time in our culture where if you didn't go to church on Sunday, the boss would correct the employee because they weren't in church. So we've drifted so far from all of that. It isn't just that. It's not. There's always all of these dynamics that are at play. And you begin to realize my ability to affect change really is limited. There's things we can try, there's things that we can do, there's things we can pray, when we can preach, all those kind of things. But there's so many dynamics that the Holy Spirit has to begin to reach the heart, pull people in, and keep them consistent in order to sustain these things. And so I began to recognize, the first 2 years, such upheaval.
But I was 2 years as a lead pastor.
as a lead pastor,
Which was 2019, 2020.
Yeah,
COVID
and just
the world
crazy.
starting
And then
fire.
after that, gave every single thing energy wise that I had. That I began to what they call brownout, not burnout, but you're beginning now just exhausted. And I began to recognize, okay, I've blown the church up. I kind of took a lot of blame. And then I began to recognize I didn't have the ability to grow the church. I didn't have the ability to create the change I wanted. I began to really struggle. And I began to recognize then I'm a turtle on a fence post. Now, we work really hard. There's certain things that we do that I feel like are consistent, and we're beginning to see gradual changes of growth and transformation. But I just recognize we're limited in what we can do. That we do our part, but God has to do his part at the right time for the church to grow.
And each of us talking about earlier, I, as a follower of Jesus, have to do my part.
Yep.
And that is getting lost in the world we live in. If I don't like a job, I just quit it before I have another job.
Don't even get me started on the transfer portal.
If I don't, transfer portal in sports. If I don't think I'm getting played enough, I'm jumping in the transfer portal and seeing if somebody else will take me and pay me as much or
I think
more.
the divorce rate is like 65% or something like that. Because it's like, oh, well, this isn't working out. So we're not staying committed. We're just going to go find something that we think is better.
And believing couples are hitting the divorce rate just as significantly as non-believing couples. And so there's all these things, our attention span. If you don't get communicated to me within the first 4 seconds of that video or that reel, I'm moved on.
Yep.
If you have more than about 2 swipes left on an Instagram post with text only on it, I'm reading, you better have caught me and pulled me in or I'm out.
It's so true.
And I want to learn and read, so that not everybody even wants to. So it's like you have all these different barriers that are in the world that we live in, just culturally where we're at. That doesn't mean I can, again, being at this church long enough, know probably 20 years ago was probably another really significant
It was.
shift
Oh, man,
in
I
how we
remember.
did ministry.
Wow.
And people are like, we're practically sending everybody to hell. We don't even read the Bible anymore. We don't sing out of our hymnals. We don't do the. Everything was imploding. And it was like, I can remember the language being, no. We're not changing the gospel. We're just adjusting the method of the gospel. And whether people were okay with that and whether they believed in that or agreed with that. And I feel like we're in another big phase of that culturally in our world, but also in the Big C church and also in Good News Church and how that fleshes out. But the biggest thing that I've seen is the follow through of each individual person is what shows me the growth in that process. Discipleship is long game. Being transformed and becoming like Jesus is long game. So me as the becoming a disciple, day in, day out, the grind and the making the decision, the choice and the failing and repenting and picking myself back up and walking in the grace and mercy of Jesus. And then the person who's doing the discipling, the faithfulness, the long game, the man, they should have figured this out by now. Wow. Here we are again facing the same thing we just talked about 3 months ago. That is discipleship.
You know that, are you familiar with Simon Sinek
No,
that wrote
I think so.
Know Your Why?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Bestseller, all of that.
Yeah.
That actually, the idea came from a pastor who wrote a book about the infinite game, which was ministry. That you're in this infinite, like you never get to this place where it's like done.
yeah.
It is just forever as long as the earth remains. And that's where he got that idea. And that's the hard part of ministry is it, we want to sprint to something. We want to solve something. We want it to be done. But faith is never done. You're always growing. Yeah.
Well, and I want transformation for people so badly because it's a better way. It's just a better life. It's just better for so many reasons, but I can't make you do it. I can't make you choose to be
And
good.
I find myself looking back going, why didn't you?
Why did I
didn't
waste
I?
so
Yeah.
much time? Why was I why was I a jerk for so long? Like
Yeah.
why, So yeah. So then remembering that helps me extend grace because I'm like, well, I've been there.
Yeah.
Circle all the way back to the turtle on the fence post. A turtle doesn't put itself on a fence post.
No.
So something happened in life. We know somebody picked him up and put him on the fence post. Something had happened in our lives and suddenly we're the turtle stuck on a fence post. How the heck is he going to get himself down?
Right.
But if somebody comes along to help get him down, he has to submit to the process, get down. Yeah, I don't know. There's just...
Well, so here's the thing, is both for the individual in life, in marriage, in all of these things, there's certain things we desire. In leadership too, there's certain things we desire, and we begin to recognize we come to the end of ourselves and we have limits. There's certain things we can't do. We have to be faithful with what we can, but certain things rest outside of our ability. That is countercultural to our times where we can do anything. We can solve anything, rugged independence, all these kind of things. But there comes a point in time where God puts you in a position to help you recognize you can't do it on your own. And that's actually grace.
Yes.
And so you begin to figure out, okay, I was never designed to do everything or to be able to solve everything. This is why I'm have a relationship with the Lord, and I go and I seek Him, right? And to be committed to faith, not to my ability, because we run out of ability.
Yeah. In a day and age where we are chat GPTing everything, and how can I do this? How can I be a better this? We're just chatting everything. And the enemy is so great. He's so sneaky and subtle. And, if I can just keep getting you distracted, if I can get you to find new methods of how you can solve all the problems, then you have less and less drive to follow Jesus and be in the long game journey of transformation. Because I want this immediate. Well, chat says if I do step 1, 2, 3, then I've arrived and I'm this perfect follower of Jesus.
I know we have to close, but there's an image that always stays with me, and it's Peter who returned to fishing.
Yes.
Because he thought it was over.
So good.
And there's going to be times in our life where we recognize what we thought was going to happen or the way we thought it was going to happen, or God hasn't come through the way we thought. And it's like we want to return. And our hearts are wanting to follow Jesus, to give everything, because his first response when he saw Jesus show up on the beach was to jump in and to be the first one there.
Yeah.
And he was. But part of us want to be able to tap out and go, didn't work. That's not what faith does. Faith recognizes its limits, but also begins to extend toward the Lord, going, I need you to meet me and help me grow. So anyway, I think I'm challenging people, regardless of what comes this year, regardless of your own limitations, regardless, I'm asking you to engage consistently toward the Lord in 2026 and just grow incrementally. Don't sprint, marathon.
Yeah. And know that our hearts are, you said it, like, we as a church staff, we love the people of Good News Church. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't love them. And it is what plays this weird, creates this tension of like, we don't ever like just get to come to church anymore.
It is. It's weird.
You're on mission at all times. But then this morning I was thinking, even when I wasn't on staff here, but I was a youth leader or a small group leader or whatever, there was a larger element. The more I got into the grind with the team of just Good News Church and like, let's reach our community, let's reach people who are here. I don't have it perfect, but I'm a couple steps ahead of you just by nature of sheer age. So let's do this together. So now I'm not coming to church, even way back. I'm not coming to church just for myself. I'm going to see my teenagers that are usually in my life group. I'm going to see the kids that we minister to, or whatever, the people that you greet at the door week after week, and you're just encouraging and building them up, because that's what people did for me. And now I'm just giving that back. And that is this process that we're on.
And the cool part of that is you grow, but you also get to see God do stuff.
Yes, which motivates your desire to grow.
That's right.
Like I'm in a little bit of a space right now where I'm like, God, I don't know if it's like the winter in my spiritual journey or not, but it's like I need to start to see something sprouting out of the ground. I need to see some more growth. I know you do it. I know there's seasons.
And this is why faith matters, because we go, okay, I'm needing to see it, but I'm going to still be committed to faith through it.
Yes. I would even say when it comes to fasting, committing to fasting, because we're in this fast, I'm going to be honest, it's not my favorite thing. And I've been very honest about that.
No.
Like, I'm like, who doesn't like to eat? But I believe and trust that there is something that's happening in the spiritual realm, in the physical. Like when we engage in these kind of spiritual disciplines and, in the prayer meetings, and there's community there, there's, obviously meeting with God there. And so it is just the consistency and the commitment of like, sometimes we don't understand, like we don't feel like going to church on a Sunday. We don't feel like showing up at a prayer meeting on a Tuesday night. But there is an aspect of like, sometimes you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And the feelings and the results will come when you stay consistent and committed.
Yeah. Just one final thought, that when you were talking and you kind of broke down our mission statement, which I loved, and you asked us, like, are you part of this family? Because it starts with, we are a family committed to see lives changed. And are you part of this family? Do you consider yourself part of this family? Are you committed to seeing lives change? Are you committed to making disciples? Are you determined to live your unique God-given purpose? And just stop saying things just because we say things. Like, ask myself, think about it. Do I really believe this? Then join the team. Like, let's do this together, because somebody helped to make me who I am in Jesus today. Lots of people played their part in who I am in Jesus today. So I can't not be helping other people become who they are supposed to be in Jesus, because that's what we're saved for. And it would be so selfish of me to keep him all to myself. And that's what I want our hearts to be, of recognizing, like, we are committed to your faith because of our faith, and we need you to commit to your faith and our faith. Like, we're all growing together, We don't have all the answers. And we need to work from that place.
Last night, and I know we have to end, we put up on the screen our mission statement, allow people to pray through it, whether they do it or not, we give the opportunity, right? And so I'm praying, what's my part? Where do I need to put my focus this year? And the Lord's pretty clear on what area that I need to focus on, not just as a pastor, but as a person. How do I begin to reorient my life to a degree to begin to extend and grow in this area. And so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it is something that I'm going to actively pursue so that I can be part of the body more and be part of the investment more than just preaching a message.
Yeah, that's good.
Love it.
Any last thoughts today as we move forward?
No, again, I'm so excited. There are things that, we have pretty clear direction of some things that we want to accomplish. There's going to be some things that come up this year that will be new and lead us toward the direction that God is calling us. And I think it'll be exciting. Some things may be a little daunting, but good changes. And just work on being committed. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, just build your spiritual muscles to be committed. God has so much more that he wants to do in us and through us.
Yeah. And again, I think just by nature of my personality, we can create the things, the practices, the things that good biblical teaching, ways to find biblical community so you can grow, all these things, a podcast, encouragement for you as you go through your journey, but you have to want it.
Right.
Each of us had to want it. And some days we're weaker than others, but that's why we have people around us that are like, come on, you still believe in that God, get up, wash your mouth out with soap for all the terrible things you just said, and let's go, and that's why we're so passionate about this for you, is because we know that people have done that for us too.
For sure.
So you have to own your faith and let us come alongside you. And then you're going to help come alongside others who own their faith, and it just multiplies. And we,
The ripple effects.
The ripple effects, we reach a community, we reach a city, we reach a world for Jesus, and he deserves it. So,
Amen.
All right, stay committed, church family. Enjoy your fast this week. And I think pray, commit, just spend time with Jesus. He will speak. Just quiet yourself and just make that small shift in your day of practicing just being quiet before the Lord and commit to that. So have a wonderful week, and we'll chat again next time.